Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, here we are discussing about the 127th part of the formula. Basically, here we have already discussed about the few energies basically related to which World Bank have basically. So, like this, basically, World Bank mostly might be having many types of energies. Basically, you can say. So it can be assumed that there are more than 1 lakh energies, basically, you can say. More than not 1 lakh, more than basically 1 crore, basically, you can say. So more than 1 crore mostly might be energy because it's a combination, basically, you can say. Because World Bank says that as many blood cells basically you contains in your body, that much basically minimum basically the matrix has to be defined. So basically in crores basically the matrix might be defined, and this basically has created basically you can say. Because for example in this in human body basically there are more than 6 crore blood cells basically, so you can say 6 crore blood cells basically, it's a huge number basically, you can say. So that is basically just of one body basically, you can say. There are like in basically here we are talking about the only India country, because currently I'm in India. So I'm only going to talk about the India country. So like this, there are 200 crore people basically, you can say. So 200 crore people, you can just imagine basically the blood cells data basically, and the energies basically which are basically getting controlled basically. And here the main thing is basically the energies which are getting out from the human bodies basically, that are basically collected by the set of energies and the power companies also basically. That is the main thing basically here. And each and every basically energies are controlled basically also. No energy is getting merged with each and every basically. That is the main thing basically, you can say. Because I will take one example. For example, there is one building basically which is covered by set of energies. Due to that basically the earthquake will not happen. So that is the basically main thing. Now here basically no other energies basically are going to enter basically. Why? Because the subscription amount which was paid by that area basically to the cities basically, that is basically up to that level basically they have paid the amount. So due to that basically the subscription has been taken by the cities, by the states, by the country basically, from the World Bank basically, because the amount has paid according to that basically. That's why basically the subscription basically, you can say it's a very deep topic basically, you can say. The World Bank basically might have more than basically uh, crores of subscription basically, you can say crores of types of subscription, that also you can say basically. So from that basically you have to select the subscription data. Basically, World Bank will never say that if we have 2 crores of subscription, 2 crores of types of subscription basically. That basically nobody is going to share their secrets basically, and nobody will ask basically also, because so like this basically the Indian world and Indian central government basically will be going to say that we want this subscription, and basically assume that World Bank is telling that we have this all subscription, more than crores of basically subscription. So you can select any of the subscription according to your budget basically, because to get the subscription also basically it's a huge amount basically you have to pay. That basically you can just understand. Like this basically assume that few subscription basically has taken, and according to that basically the World Bank is setting the environment basically of the cities so I have told that more than crores of subscription are there. So according to that the World Bank has given the subscription, and according to that the World Bank is setting the subscription data basically to the each and every cities, so that basically the each and every cities gets handled basically, that also you can say. So like this, the subscription plan basically are taken, and subscription amount is given to the World Bank, and World Bank is giving the services. Basically. The subscription basically you can say World Bank is giving one service basically, you can say service to the central, basically to the country basically. Here basically we are discussing about the India country. So India country basically is taking subscription from the World Bank, World Energy Banks basically, you can say. We are here directly discussing the World Bank only, but in real basically there are many groups basically who are giving the data to the World Bank. So like this, World Bank is taking and giving the data to the India country basically. they are not directly sending the data to the countries basically through the air. Or they are basically sending the data to the power plant basically, which is connected to the India basically. Yes. So like this basically they are sending the data to set of power banks, power set of nuclear plants, set of energies basically. And from there basically the data are set into the each and every country, each and every cities basically, each and every states basically you can say. So like this basically you can just imagine basically the subscription basically number basically you can say which more than 4 crore basically, sorry, more than crore basically you can say. It's exact amount so basically nobody might be having, but here we are just taking as a rough amount, a rough number basically it's more than crore basically. So like this the subscription data are collected, subscription data are processed, then basically the subscription data are passed to the, because the requirement basically has to take first basically country gives the requirement, country takes the requirement from each and every cities, states, then basically country gives the collect the requirement from cities and states, then basically they give the requirement to the World Bank, because the money has take money is going to be given to the World Bank. So according to that basically the requirement is given to the World Bank, and each and every individual requirements are giving. Just imagine basically, you can just imagine. I have taken one example basically of the one person basically in 1991 basically he was in Mumbai, and he has eaten what are the things basically that was basically we have already discussed, and that basically is one of the data science project basically which Bollywood says that we have created that data basically. Software industry are just using our ideas basically. For that basically we have already discussed basically lots of things. So like that basically that is basically one of the examples basically you can say. So like this World Bank is telling that we are basically passing the data, and subscription amount is basically given to the each and every cities basically you can. So it's not a easy task, it's a very tough task basically you can say, because more than crores of subscription are there. World Bank is telling that whatever amount you have given to us, that amount, that type of on subscription data we are going to pass basically you can say. So here basically each and every single individual human data are basically given to the World Bank basically. So it's a very tough basically you can say to to pass the 24 hours to the government basically you can say. It's very tough basically, it's not so easy task to uh, get the 24 hours basically within the, so the 24 hours can be passed basically you can say. So here basically we are discussing about the uh, few energies basically that are positive energies and negative energies. We have already discussed basically in just few minutes basically what are the negative energies and what are the positive energies. People says that this is he is a negative person basically. In front of world basically it's a negative basically. That's why basically I have told one example basically, in front of world and not in front of world basically. In front of world means the earthquake is in front of world basically. How? That is basically through tectonic plates. So through tectonic plates basically the um, earthquake basically is coming from the tectonic plates. That is basically in front of world basically. That is basically 100% sure. So for that, basically, lots of books are there. Lots of geology groups are telling that yeah, basically we are reading these books, we are reading that books. So you can just imagine basically the education also. So like this, basically, the groups are there basically who basically having the education in industry basically also. So there are, you can just imagine basically there are many types of education also, that also basically you can understand. So here also this is basically like that only basically you can say, when the IITs IIM person basically gets the 90 percentage, their blood groups are basically checked, and their blood cells are also checked basically, and their brain cells are also basically checked before the interview basically. So very, when the corporate companies basically takes the interview, for example TCS, Accenture, Capgemini, this type of company, when they takes the interview, they checks the blood cells, brain cells, each and everything basically they checks. Why? because they want to know basically up to what level his brain cells, blood cells has generated the thing, so that basically we can shift that person into according to his blood cells and brain cells which is generated. According to that, basically we can shift to him to that project basically. So just imagine basically up to the what level the companies are also basically thinking. Basically, you can just, that is basically good for good. Basically, they are thinking because they say that we are going to place into perfect project basically, so that basically company will also not get loss and the employee will also not get any difficulty basically. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the companies, good companies are also there basically. From that basically I am telling you that good companies are also. So I have taken one example of the person basically. I am taking just my example also, that I can't take anyone else example. So I will take my example. This is not basically a real example. Basically, just taking as a example that Sunil R. Nair went to 5 times in Mumbai, and he has not got a job. So that is basically the negative energy, and the positive energy was basically he went to Mumbai and he got the job. So that was basically positive energy, basically, you can say. So like this, basically, good companies are also there and bad companies are also there. So like this, it's about the bad companies and good companies. That is basically totally different topic. Basically, we are not discussing about that companies basically, because company itself basically it's a big topic basically, because company itself basically are the, you can just imagine this vegetables creation, human needs creation. This basically are companies creation basically. They are basically handling the this all energies basically. They are handling the each and every data basically, because it's a top level management group basically who handles the each and every energies of the employees basically, you can say. So whether they are working from home also, whether they are not working from home, office also. So basically the data basically are going to pass to the each and every employees basically wherever they are sitting, because that data is 100% going to pass whether they are working from home also, because power company says that they have the real data basically. For example, this person is working in this project from this company, and but he is working from home. But that data basically few people, HR people, for example, HR people also don't know. But the energies and power companies basically they know that this person is working in this project and he is going to get this data. I have taken one example of the basically 16 types of basically ideas was there for the CRM project. From that, basically four types of ideas was selected by the Accenture and TCS company. But the TCS company and Accenture company basically don't know that this four ways basically from where they have got, that basically Accenture company and TCS company don't know. But they are telling that we have created four types of way. And this was basically verified by that power companies and energy companies who created the 16 ways basically. And the 16 ways group basically also verified that yeah, this basically four ways basically are used by our ways. Basically they have told that yeah, this is my way, this is my way. Like these four groups were there who told that yeah, this basically they have selected our way basically. So you can just imagine the basically you can say the confidential things, secrets thing basically. The 16 basically was idea basically, 16 ways of ideas basically, which was sent to the power companies and power companies has sent to the Accenture and TCS basically. So just imagine basically whether he's working from home also, whether he's working from office basically. But he's going to get the data. That is basically 100% sure. So you can just imagine basically, you can't basically, few people says that how basically we can imagine this also, that is also basically the main thing basically, you can say. So here basically we are discussing about the negative energy and positive energy. So from that basically 5 time visit I had already taken the negative energy and positive energy. What is now negative energy and positive energy? Now basically we are talking about the each and every city is basically which is passing the data of the negative energies and positive energy. So here basically I have taken one example of the Sunidar Nair basically, that is myself only. Like this basically there are 200 crore people in the India basically, whose basically stories are there, which are basically collected, already collected by the Bollywood groups basically, you can say, who says that we have each and every person's idea, person's personal information also, you can say. Because if they are having the each and every person's life information, then basically it's a personal life only. For that basically few people like Twitter, basically Twitter is purchased by some one of the owner, basically you can say, to find the personal life of the each and every person. So basically what is in Twitter? Basically just communication channel only, that basically you can't create it. You can easily create. For that basically how much amount is basically paid. Here basically the main thing was the data, basically which contains the each and every person's stories, basically you can say, because the stories are basically collected by the World Bank. World Bank says that where we have to verify, basically World War Bank basically says that we have the each and every data, but we have to physically verify each and everything, basically. Otherwise without physical verification we can't confirm the thing, basically. So here basically we are stopping, and here this is the 127th part and 128th part. We are going to talk a little bit more about the formula part and the uh, energies, basically, and the Bollywood industry.